Australia has a reputation as being the home of deadly, with the world's most venomous snakes and spiders, great white sharks, and saltwater crocs. It's a paradise for any lover of predatory wildlife. And that's exactly what I've come here to find. 4 very different animals, but each in their own way just as lethal. Australia is, without doubt, the capital of the world for fierce creatures, and all of them are right here in far north Queensland. My 10-day journey down under has brought me to the northeast of Australia, starting with a 2-hour drive south of Cairns to the small holiday resort of Mission Beach. There are over 8 miles of beautiful beaches along the coast, and it's not hard to see why this is such a draw for tourists from around the world. But there's an invisible menace lurking in the coral sea. Swimmers here need underwater nets to keep them safe from officially the world's most venomous creature, the infamous box jellyfish. Hey, hi, how you doing? Are you guys out here on holiday?
We're on holiday, yeah.
Okay. Does it make sense to you? You come up somewhere like this that's really wild and beautiful, and the only place you can use the sea is inside that net?
Yeah, it's a shame. You know, it's a nice day. It'd be nice to swim out a little bit further, but yeah, you're kind of restricted to this area.
Yeah, and for very good reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
They have more developed nervous systems, eyesight, and are more powerful swimmers than any other jellyfish. Their tentacles, up to 3 meters long, are packed with stinging cells to paralyze their prey. I'm wearing a protective stinger suit, which should keep those stings at bay. I've been given a small box jellyfish that was captured nearby, and I'm going to release it back into the sea, away from the tourists. So I have in here the box jellyfish, and it's a perfect opportunity before I release it to see some of its attributes. So I'm just going to get it up to the surface and try and get a hold of the bell where there are no stinging cells. So there it is. The business end are these dripping tentacles here. That's where those nematocysts or stinging cells are all loaded. And if you were to grab a hold of one of these by mistake, you'd be in a lot of trouble. However, out of the water like this, it does completely lose its majesty. I mean, look at that. It just looks like something that's come out of someone's nose. When they're at their most special is when they're in the water swimming. So what I'd love to do is release this back into the wild. So let's set him free and see what happens. Wow, well, you can instantly see why this is such a potentially dangerous creature, because the second it's gone into the water, it's invisible. And just like that, gone. I know it's here, and I can't see it. Silent, invisible, lethal. There are many kinds of box jelly, but there's one that's perhaps the most potent. It's called the irukandji. Irukandji jellyfish are tiny, no bigger than a thumbnail, though their tentacles trail behind them for up to 1 meter. A sting from one causes overwhelming pain. In severe cases, the venom can increase blood pressure so much it can cause a heart attack. Irukandji were only discovered in the 1960s, and there's still much that we don't know about them.
How are you, buddy?
Really good, really good.
This is our vessel for the day.
Fantastic.
So,
Shall we? One man who's made his life's work studying Australia's venomous animals is Jamie Seymour, a professor from the university in Cairns. If anyone can help me see an irukandji swimming in the wild, he can.
This time of the year, from sort of November through to about May, it's stinger season in the north. All along this beaches, when it's reasonably calm, you'll find irukandji.
If you live near the coast here, you've got to be always on your guard. You've got to know what the weather's doing. You've got to know, what's happening before you even consider going near the water.
Irukandji, we get probably about 50 or 60 stings a year on the east coast of Australia, and we probably put 3 or 4 million people in the water every year. So the chances of being stung are very, very small.
But Jamie was one of the unlucky few. In 2005, he was diving with a colleague, Teresa, when they were both badly stung by an irukandji.
Teresa got out of the water. She took her gloves off, and a little piece of tentacle about that big nailed her on the wrist. And the only place that was exposed for me was just above the top of my lip, and I got nailed across the top of the lip.
Cameras caught what happened when Jamie and Teresa were rushed to hospital.
If I had to put it, 0 pain, 0 being no pain, 10 the worst you can imagine, I had it at about 14.
Oh, whoa. Their blood pressure and heart rate went through the roof, and even the maximum dose of morphine couldn't stop the pain.
Pain's starting to come back again. Overall pain. It's not a lower back pain or a chest pain or anything. It's just complete, total pain right throughout the body. Oh, dear.
I've actually hated my arms. It's killing me, both my arms.
They suffered what's known as irukandji syndrome. One of the symptoms is described as a sense of impending doom. Jamie was in hospital for 2 days, Teresa for 2 weeks. You can see the pain on both of your faces. It just looks absolutely overwhelming.
I don't know of anything else in the world, pain-wise, that even comes close. You talk to women that have had children and then been stung by an irukandji, and their reply is, if childbirth was that bad, we wouldn't have kids.
On with the search. This venom has evolved solely to kill prey. Humans getting stung is just an unfortunate side effect. Normally would the water quality here be just like crystal clear?
It's a lot clearer than this, yeah. And the issue you have, the animals are pretty much transparent anyway. So
Yeah.
once you get any sort of murkiness in the water, they just blend away.
With the sea conditions against us, we head for shore. Jamie's got some irukandji back at his lab in Cairns. It's a 2-hour drive north, and I can't wait to see them.
Welcome to the aquarium lab, for the want of a better word.
So, this is your office?
Yeah, well, it's a tough office, but yeah, it's my office.
Jamie's lab is an incredible living museum of some of Australia's fiercest marine creatures.
We might start.
Is awesome. For me, this is like being a kid in a sweet shop. Oh, wow, look at that.
So we've got some cone snails in here.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, these are the world's most venomous snails. So these guys feed on fish.
Cone snails engulf fish, jab them with a sort of harpoon, and then inject them with venom. They're slow-moving, but potentially lethal.
So we've actually got some stomatopods, or mantis shrimps. And these ones are one of the smashing stomatopods.
Stomatopods, or mantis shrimp, have some of the finest eyes on Earth, able to perceive colours no other animal can. With powerful front limbs, they can punch through bulletproof glass and are sometimes known as the thumb splitter. Oh, whoa! Amazing! I'm not putting my hand anywhere near that tank.
No, that would not be a good idea. I'll show you what we refer to as our predator tank. Just hang on to that.
Right.
In the top of the water. So just put it in the water. Just hold it in the water there.
Am I about to lose my hand?
Just put it in the water. Jimmy, trust me, I'm a doctor.
These fish are barramundi. They can grow as long as I am tall and suck in their prey astonishingly fast.
And the crowd goes wild.
Jamie's lab of aquatic marvels is fascinating, but they're all surpassed by the irukandji. And Jamie has a collection unlike anywhere else in the world.
All these little white things you can see around here, these are irukandji polyps.
It's essentially baby irukandjis.
That's correct. We've never, ever found them out in the wild. Nobody ever has.
So you've got 3 crystal balls here with more lethal potential than probably any other place on the planet.
Pretty much, yeah. We could pretty much
cool.
write off most of the population of Cairns with just these 3.
Wow, that is really quite something.
So in there are 2 irukandji jellyfish.
This is what I've come for. Tiny blobs of jelly that have evolved a phenomenal adaptation to kill their prey. Venom so powerful, it can potentially be fatal to man. So, those are 2 of the most lethal creatures on the planet.
For their size, yeah, they pack one heck of a punch. There's no doubt about that.
There's quite a lot of movement going on here. I mean, they are actively swimming, aren't they?
If you watch those tentacles, they'll jerk and twitch every so often.
Oh, like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, think of it, it's
Incredible.
just like fishing. So if you had a lure and you're in the ocean and you were jagging it through the water to attract little fish.
So running down the length of the tentacles, all of those little white dots are where all those stinging cells are laden and concentrated.
That's correct, yeah.
It's extraordinary to think that something that's this small and composed almost entirely of water can be that lethal. These tiny, near-invisible creatures have been around for 500 million years, and for me, they continue to be wonders of nature. I'm on day 2 of a journey through the diverse landscapes of Queensland, Australia. I'm searching out some of its fiercest creatures to understand the adaptations that help them survive. From Cairns, I've headed 80 miles south to the Guyana National Park. Far North Queensland's home to some of the most obvious predators on the planet. Snakes and sharks and spiders, but possibly the fiercest of them all might surprise you, because it's a bird. But this is no ordinary bird. The one I'm in search of is an awesome giant with a reputation for being the most dangerous bird in the world. It can grow as tall as a man, and when defending itself and its young, can be genuinely dangerous. It's the cassowary. My aim is to see one in the wild, so I'm meeting Graham, a vet who spent the last 15 years caring for injured and orphaned cassowaries. I guess you have more than your fair share of encounters with animals that people might consider to be pretty frightening.
My scariest moment ever in my life was I was just bushwalking and we actually came across an adult bird with 2 chicks. And yeah, we ended up a tree in the rainforest with an adult bird circling us. That's coming from me who, I deal with cassowaries quite a bit, but yeah, still scare you to bits when you're approached by one.
I've got footage that shows just how full-on these birds can get as adults. Cassowaries are distant relatives of emus and ostriches. Left alone, they're gentle fruit eaters, but they carry a lethal defensive weapon. They have a 12-centimetre long dagger-like claw, which, combined with a karate kick, has the potential to kill.
And they will run at you, and then with both feet, they will just continually try and kick you. That cassowary is intent on doing that guy a lot of damage.
Was that in captivity, you think?
No, that was in the wild.
Really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Despite their ferocity when cornered, these birds are also endangered, and it's a constant battle for people like Graham to protect them. We're going to try our luck at finding one in the wild in the Guyana National Park. This is properly dense forest.
Fair bit of vine and thorns and all sorts here. This stuff's an absolute pain in the neck when you're trying to get through the rainforest.
Yeah, it's called wait a while. I have absolutely no idea why. Look at that. And this is why you can't move fast in the forest. If you get stuck on that, you have to take your time, go slow, wait a while. So what we're looking out for are signs and tracks.
Yes.
I mean, they could be just a couple of metres off the side of the track and you wouldn't necessarily see them.
The great thing about cassowaries is their camouflage. When they're young, they're brown. As they get bigger, they turn black. And if you look in the rainforest, you get the idea that at the ground level it is brown, and as it gets up, it gets a bit darker. So the big adults are just as good at hiding as the young chicks are.
Cassowaries are generally solitary birds and tend to be shy of human beings, which makes them tricky to find. After a morning searching, Graham has to return to work. But as I continue looking on my own, I get lucky. Just sitting in the shade down in front of me is a big female cassowary. And she is really big. Now, the last thing that I want to do is crowd her, so I'm just going to watch and see what she does. She's definitely aware of me. They're very, very driven by sound, these birds. In almost every situation in the wild, these birds would choose to move away from a human being, and where it starts to get dangerous is where they feel threatened, where they feel cornered. Seeing a big female cassowary in the wild is about the closest thing on the planet to seeing a real living dinosaur. When you look at them from the ground up, the feet just look like they've been taken from a velociraptor. Huge, scaly toes, and that pointed, dagger-like toe, which they use for defense. She's up, and she's starting to move. Okay, I'm going to move very carefully now. Expect to get that close to a wild cassowary. And seeing her making off into the undergrowth is a strangely prehistoric sight. I really thought it was touch and go that we'd even find a cassowary here. These birds are critically endangered. There are only a few thousand of them left on the planet. And to sit this close to one, being stared at by that electric blue-headed, beautiful-looking dinosaur, something I won't forget in a hurry. The cassowary is ingrained in the culture of the local Aboriginal people, who've lived here for over 40,000 years. From the Giru National Park, I'm going north along the coast to Kuya Beach to meet up with Link, a member of the local rainforest tribe. He's keeping up the traditions his people have with the indigenous wildlife. So do you go out foraging on these sandbanks looking for food?
Yeah, this is our normal day. All of the kids come out and we teach them how to find food out here and stuff, and then come back and feed the families. So the traditional lifestyle is sort of built into our everyday life.
And how long have you and your family and your group been living here?
Some of the artwork's been dated over 20 to 40,000 years.
Seriously?
Some spots, yeah.
So when you say that this is your country, it's really your country?
It's the old,
like, really, really your country?
Right back to the beginning of time.
Amazing. Link's going to help me find one of the most misunderstood of animals, the stingray. Stingrays have a fearsome reputation. The barb on its tail packs a venom that it uses to defend itself. But they're actually timid creatures and are rarely a threat to humans.
Yeah, well, you see all of these marks here? That's a stingray feeding hole. See the holes in the mud?
Oh, yeah.
So the stingrays come in, they just sit on the bottom, they suck up all the mud. There's layers and layers of shellfish under your feet.
I would never have seen that in a million years.
If you see a stingray coming, don't jump in the air, because if you land on it, it knows where you are and it can just hit you with the tail. Oh, there's a stingray there, the bull ray, guys, look. See him there, look?
Ah, yes, yes, I can see it.
I'll try to scare him up to the shallow. Oh, he's off. Oh, don't move. Just there on my foot. There he goes.
Oh, yeah.
There he goes, yeah.
Oh, he's going fast.
I try to coax him towards the shallow slowly. He knows what I'm trying to do and he doesn't want to do it. It's the dangerous bit just there under the spear. See the barb in the spear?
Yep, I can see it, yeah. Absolutely beautiful. So stingrays are closely related to the sharks, and essentially this is just like someone's got a shark and stuck it in a sandwich press and just squished it completely flat. The eyes are on top of the head here. Link has got the business end pinned underneath the spear here. But that there is where it gets its name from, the stingray. It can move that around, lashing it around all over the place and slicing into things as a method of defense.
Just rub your finger along the outside edge and you'll feel the barbs, the little one-way barbs on the edge.
You sure?
Yeah, just on the outside edge. Yeah, right along the side of it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Feel
can
that?
feel them.
Yeah.
I'm just being ever so cautious. I've seen people that have been lacerated by these and just talked about screaming and yelling for days. OK, Link, I think we can let him head off.
Yeah, just take that off his tail. There he goes.
Wow, there he goes. Beautiful. Such a great way of moving, isn't it?
Yeah. Little spaceship.
I'm halfway through my time in Queensland, Australia, searching out some of the most fierce animals down under. Leaving Kuya Beach, I'm travelling further north into the wild forests of northeast Queensland. So I'm heading to the Daintree rainforest, and it is one of the most beautiful and oldest stretches of forest on the planet. And we're heading there in search of spiders. Australia's infamous for its spiders, and in particular, two lethal legends. There's the Sydney funnelweb spider. The male could be the most toxic on Earth. And the redback spider, Australia's very own black widow. But there are two less well-known eight-legged wonders that are lethal in their own world, and which gets spider lovers like me excited. I'm hooking up with local spider expert Alan, who's been a spider enthusiast for 20 years.
Even though it's daylight, I'm using the torch to pick up the eye shine of some of the spiders that have larger eyes.
He's going to help me find the spiders I'm looking for. There's no one who knows this rainforest better than him. It's an intriguing little web.
And that's the amazing thing about the rainforest here. The diversity of spider life is so incredible.
But our best chance of finding them will be after dark. So while we wait for the sun to set, Alan's taking me up above this ancient rainforest. Right, let's head up out of the darkness to give me a bird's eye view of this awesome canopy. There's something pretty special about being this high up above the canopy, isn't there?
Oh, it's a remarkable time of day to be up here.
There are 460 square miles of rainforest down there, and it's a treasure trove of spiders.
Many of those nocturnal species that we're hoping to see will just be starting to emerge down there in the dark shadows now.
And in those shadows will be the two spiders I'm keen to find. As the sun goes down, the forest becomes an arachnid hunting ground.
Anything over there?
No.
Oh, here's a net caster.
With net?
With a net.
So this is exactly what we were hoping to find. There she is. The net casting spider. Poised, perfect, ready and waiting for food. Has lots of other common names. The ogre-faced spider and the gladiator spider, all down to the incredible appearance of it and how it hunts. This spider is an ambush predator with an ingenious hunting technique. It makes a net and holds it in its legs, ready to capture unwary insects that get too close. Okay, so we have a grasshopper wandering into the kill zone. At present, she doesn't seem that interested. Oh my goodness! It hopped straight into the net! The grasshopper just committed suicide and is now being trussed up in what remains of her perfect gladiator net. So the silk is a mixture of proteins that comes out of the spinnerets as a liquid and then turns into this solid silk on contact with the open air, and it is one of the most extraordinary substances on the planet. Still alive, entombed in silk. Once she's immobilized her prey, she bites it. Then regurgitates her digestive juices to liquidize her prey. She'll spend the rest of the night feeding on it. Have you ever seen it happen like that before?
I've never seen anything quite like that, where the prey decides to leap straight into a netcaster's net.
It's all pretty grotesque, really. But very, very cool. The next day, we're back in the forest, searching for the other spider I want to see. One that is an absolute master at web making. Oh, who did that? And this is just what I wanted to find. It's Nephila, or the golden orb web weaving spider. There she is. What a magnificent big girl. I mean, she looks like the most fierce spider on the planet. But actually, it has no interest whatsoever in biting me as a human being and is really not going to do me any harm. Although I have to admit, I still get a little bit of a shiver up my neck every single time I take one in my hands. She does hunt by day, but is much, much more busy by night. So what I'd really like to do is come back in a couple of hours' time, and then we're going to see something very special indeed, and genuinely fierce. Dusk is rush hour in the rainforest, when all the nocturnal predators come out. Got a truly fierce critter here. It's a giant centipede. These are truly some of the hardest creatures to keep a hold of on Earth, and this one at the moment is desperately trying to get its fangs stuck into these forceps. And if those were my fingers, it would be hurting like you would not believe. These centipedes are absolutely ferocious hunters. At the front of the head, there is a pair of modified legs called forcipules, and at the base of those is a venom gland, so they can reach out, grab a hold of it, pump in venom, and it works really quickly on the nervous system. These are all predatory, and as fierce a creature as you'll ever see, but not what we've come here to find. So let's get searching. We're heading back to the golden orb weaver we found earlier to hopefully see her at her predatory best. Oh, that's nice.
That's a very big web too.
Yeah, it must be 1.5 meters across and vertical as well, and she sat right in the middle of it.
They'll sit in that web day and night, and right now it's prime hunting time.
I have an enormous fascination for all of the spiders that build a two-dimensional orb web like this. I think it's the most extraordinary feat of architecture in nature. This is an immense trap. Unlike the spiders in your back garden that make their webs afresh every day, these can last years. Its threads, pound for pound, are believed to be 5 times stronger than steel. Feels a little bit weird as wildlife lovers to be standing here just praying for a moth to fly too close so that it meets a nasty end.
Yep. There you go. Wow.
Oh, and there it goes. She's injecting her venom in right now. You can see the fangs coming in sideways, pinching in right into its head. Oh, that is grim. Now she's going to provide a silken shroud for it. Look at that! Drawing it out from the spinnerets at the end of her abdomen and almost embalming it in silk. That's incredible.
Now she'll take it back to the central hub of the web. Up she goes.
What's fascinating about predators is not how dangerous they might be to human beings, but how they interact with their prey. I can totally see why the funnel web and the redback kind of get all the attention and all the hype. But to me, this is far more fierce and in its own way, much more impressive. The way that it manages to trap and then finish off its prey is utterly exquisite. It's the last few days of my time in Australia, searching out the fiercest animals I can find. I've left the Daintree rainforest behind, and I'm heading deep into rural Queensland, to the sugar plantations around Mosman. I'm up before dawn to find a reclusive snake with a fearsome reputation, the coastal taipan. Along with the inland taipan, these are the most venomous snakes on planet Earth. When they strike fast. Before antivenoms were developed, a bite to a human was as good as a death sentence. To help me track down a coastal taipan, I've arranged to meet Chris in his garage that doubles up as a snake den. Hello mate, how are you?
Hey Steve, how are you?
Good to see you. Yeah, really good, really good. Chris is the snake guy the locals phone when they've got a snake they want moving off their land. Do you get many snake rescues this time of year?
I've been getting a few, yeah. In fact, earlier I had this python that I had to go and remove.
This carpet python is a constrictor that suffocates its prey. Wow, what an absolute beauty. Around here you've got the most venomous snakes in the whole world. The taipan.
About 2 months ago, I had a call out. The guy who claimed the taipan was 10 foot long.
10 foot?
10 foot.
That would be pretty much a record.
Yeah, the record's just over 11 foot.
I'm trying to keep talking to you completely
I know,
normally.
you want me to unspringle here?
No, actually, I quite
happy
like
with
it.
that?
It's kind of cool.
Looks like a good necklace.
Time to start our search of the plantations. Wow. It's 6 a.m. and already like being in an oven. These few hours just after dawn, any snake is going to be up and about, out in the open, basking. This is our prime time. Once it starts to get too hot, they'll disappear down into holes and become much, much harder to find.
Steve, we're just going to turn over this rock over here.
So this is classic snake terrain. Lots and lots of little rodent burrows, which not only offer prey, but also potential shelter as well. To have a good look in the crevice underneath, Chris has a little camera.
Don't want to take my eyes off the monitor just in case something comes flying out. There, okay. Here's a slither mark. Something lives underneath here.
Yeah.
And obviously there's no snake here at the moment, but looks like on the right track.
No, nothing. I am very, very much watching where I put my fingers.
I reckon this morning, this paddock is pretty clear taipans.
We're pretty sure there are no taipans back there. So we make our way to another plantation, where we hope we'll have more luck.
Walking through long grass when you're looking for taipans is not recommended. Elusive animals.
Yeah. Well, it's only 8 o'clock now, but it's already burning hot. And in this heat, any snake is really going to be heading for a hollow and trying to get as far away from the sun as possible. So our job is getting harder and harder by the second.
It's too darn hot. It's too darn hot. I'd like to sup with my baby tonight. Refill the cup with my baby tonight.
Oh, it's a lot of sweat for nothing.
I'd like to sup with my baby tonight. Refill the cup with my baby tonight. But I ain't up to my baby tonight, 'cause it's too darn hot.
Oh, boots are all squelchy. Filling up with water and sweat. Moving on to farmland where a taipan has been spotted, we uncover our best lead yet.
Check it out, mate. Look at that.
I mean, snake, isn't it? It's definitely a snake.
Oh, definitely snake. Those taipan eggs I've found before, they look just like that.
Wow. So they're here. We're just going to need to do some serious legwork.
Increase the content of sweat in my shirt.
We're getting somewhere. There just have to be snakes on this farm. I'm hoping Mick the farmer will be able to help our search.
Yeah, good. Looking for snakes?
Yeah, we are, yeah. Have you been seeing any around here?
Couple down the back over here in the wood piles.
They look more like tree trunks than a wood pile.
Yeah, they're a bit large to lift by hand, but I've got a machine there if you'd like.
Anything that means I don't have to sweat is perfect by me.
It's a bit warm up here in the tropics.
It's scorching, yeah. Oh, that'd be fantastic.
All right, no worries. I'll go and get a machine.
No way.
That's how we do it in Queensland, mate.
He wasn't joking.
No.
That's a proper tractor. Nice work, Mick. So we've gone from carefully picking around in tiny little holes to using a bulldozer. Wow, that is extreme snake searching.
It just looks like a mouse has been making a bit of a home out of it.
Yeah, so we shifted all those logs and we found a mouse. People who are terrified of snakes, who think that just wandering around in Australia in the bush, you're going to get nailed. You're very obviously not. I mean, we've put in goodness knows how many man-hours and we haven't seen anything. But I'm not giving up hope just yet. Actually, I am giving up hope. I was just saying that for the camera. I'm not usually one to quit easily. So our search carries on into the night, where I stumble across an animal which could explain why we're finding it so hard to find snakes. I'm holding in my hand the dreaded cane toad. Oh, there's another one here. This one's even bigger. Originally, they were brought here from their native Central and South America as pest control. The idea was that they'd go into the cane fields and they'd feed on the insects that were eating the cane. Unfortunately, that didn't really work, but these little toads just bred like wildfire and spread across the country. But the reason that this is a fierce creature is the fact that these toads are poisonous. And pretty much every single kind of native animal that tries to eat cane toads ends up dead. Even the most venomous snakes on Earth are no match for the poison of the cane toad. So that poison comes from these parotoid or parotid glands. And if you squeeze them, then that toxin will come out. Have a look at this. Ah! Oh, that's so grim. It's like squeezing the worst spot ever. Oh! There is no doubt that this rather ugly, warty-looking toad has the power to decimate almost everything that lives here. There's no doubt it's fierce. So, next morning, early again, and we're back out on the snake search. Oh, wow. Yes, that is a big woodpile. So, we're looking for a brown snake in a massive log pile. The words needle and haystack spring to mind. Starting to think that taipans are an imaginary animal. They don't really exist.
They're damn hard to find, that's for sure.
Yeah. We simply cannot have given it any more. 2 days worth of searching, and you know, we've done everything from using an endoscope to a JCB and come up with nothing. Every self-respecting snake is just coiled up somewhere as far away as it can get from the heat. So this time at least, we're gonna have to admit defeat. And that burns. But my luck's about to change. Word's gone round that I'm desperate to find a coastal taipan, and I get an unexpected phone call with great news. We've just heard from some locals that there's someone here who actually keeps a taipan in their house, and hopefully we're going to get a chance to see it firsthand, because it's right here. I'm guessing you must be Shane.
Yeah, that's right.
Shane originally collected these snakes as part of an anti-venom project. Holy moly, that's incredible. His kitchen is stuffed full of the very snakes I've been looking for. Mulga and taipans, fantastic. How many do you have?
I think it's around 30 at the moment, so...
30. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, that is what I've been spending hours and hours trying to find. So what's the fascination with taipans for you?
To me, they're the pinnacle of venomous snakes. They don't sit that well on the hooks, but...
Oh, wow. She is an absolute beauty. The taipan's venom is lethal, so I can get close, but I have to keep out of its striking range. Look at that. You see that tongue flickering out vigorously, just sensory overload. Snakes are so driven by their sense of smell and taste, and that forked tongue is constantly searching for sensory information. And that is beautiful. Although, obviously, I really wanted to find one in the wild, this is the next best thing. And that is as perfect, as beautiful a taipan as you'll ever see anywhere. Wow. Wow. My time in Australia is at an end. But more than the venomous coastal taipan, the velociraptor-like cassowary, the fascinating netcaster and golden silk orb spiders. For me, the fiercest animal has got to be a tiny blob of jelly with a sting that can kill, the irukandji. I'm in Georgetown, the capital of Guyana. A country off the beaten track that I love to come back to. Oh, that's good. It's one of the most undiscovered, untouched corners of South America, where even the exotic fish in the market look fierce. Wow, look at that. It's a happy day when you catch one of those then.
Yes.
We're celebrating. And does this taste good?
Yeah.
Yeah? How do you cook it? You fry it?
You fry it and cook it in curry. You can cut it and steak it.
May seem a little bit counterintuitive, but actually you can learn an enormous amount about the wildlife of places like this by just coming to a market. You can see here a huge array of the fish that are in the freshwater and saltwater here. What's the biggest arapaima you've seen? You've seen like
30 feet, 40 feet.
40 feet?
Yeah, big.
Unbelievably, a lot of markets like these are turning up completely new species. Species that nobody even knew existed are being found in markets. Scientists are wandering around and going, hang on a sec, what's that? That's completely new. How you doing? But I'm not in Guyana to look at dead fish. I'm here to find the country's living animals. And that means some of the fiercest animals on the planet. Here we go. Next stop, the jungle. Guyana is about as big as Britain, but 3/4 of it is covered in forest. I'm flying 340 miles southwest to the remote central Rupununi rainforest. Guyana is known as the land of many waters, with over 1,500 rivers, and it's home to giant anaconda, piranha and jaguar, not to mention the lethal predators I'm hoping to find. It's a really powerful thought that right now I could just strap on a parachute, jump out this plane, and I'd probably land somewhere that human beings have never set foot before. And in the 21st century, that's an extraordinary thought. And for that reason, I think Guyana is one of my favourite places in the whole world. This will be my home for the next 9 days. It's Fierce Animal Central. This river is the lifeblood of the forest. But danger lurks in the waters. Imagine your kids sharing their playground with one of the most powerful predators there's ever been. One that's been stalking our planet since before the age of the dinosaurs. I'm talking about the caiman. These reptiles are the largest predators in South America. They can grow up to 5 meters long with the most powerful of bites. By day, they're often hidden, but as night falls, they emerge to hunt. And they're hungry. I want to find the biggest and most powerful of all, the black caiman. So on my first night in the jungle, I'm joining Fernando, who works for the Caiman Project. He knows firsthand just how dangerous these reptiles can be.
We've had 2 of our boats bitten through before, so this boat has extra reinforced steel. So that,
When you say bitten through?
The puncture the boat with their teeth, yeah.
For over 10 years, Fernando and his team have been monitoring the local population of black caiman to secure their survival after they were hunted to near extinction. Okay, let's see what we can find. Tonight, the team is searching for a particularly large one that locals have spotted. We need to find it and catch it before measuring it and attaching a tracking device. There's something almost primitive, almost primordial, I guess, about being out here at night, knowing you're surrounded by these ancient reptiles. It's almost like being in a Hollywood horror movie. The caiman that by day are near invisible give themselves away at night. A lot of nocturnal animals have a reflective layer of cells in the back of the eye which reflects light back through the retina to increase their night vision. In the crocodiles, it means that when you shine light directly at them, you get this burning, bright red eye shine that comes back and gives away their presence. So as we're moving along the side here, if we get close to something, I'll see if I can get a hold of it.
Yeah, that's a good hand capture size.
That's perfect size, yeah. Oh, yes, I see it. Great. Oh, absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay. We'll just let him settle down just ever so slightly before I get him in. Okay. So, there are several species of caiman found on these waterways. This gorgeous little crocodile is a spectacled caiman. Oh, that is not good. Sorry, it's okay. They are remarkably powerful for an animal of their size. The fact that I managed to lose control of him there sums that up, really. I mean, this is only a very small animal, but even so, it's at the limit of what I would feel comfortable catching with my bare hands. But we're only tagging black caiman, so this one doesn't need to be measured. The one we're looking for could eat that youngster for supper. Lots and lots out tonight. We spend 3 hours searching for the big one we know is out there. There's one there, look. Come a bit closer, guys. Fuck. We got something. Yep, we got him. Whoa, he is big. Well done, Fernando. That is amazing. Great catch.
Move back.
So this is a really good-sized, probably male black caiman. And right now, he has rope in exactly the right place. Wow, look at that! And we just need to wait for him to tire ever so slightly so that we can bring him up onto the bank and start to take measurements. Now, this may all look pretty brutal, but they are incredibly robust animals, and it's essential for both his safety and ours that he just loses a little bit of this fight and aggression, because, oh, wow. Right now, all he wants to do is bite a hole in the boat, and I'm not surprised. Ah! Wow, he is a monster. Next, we deal with his main weapon, those formidable teeth. One of the most extraordinary things about crocodilians is that they have huge, heavy jaws, very bony, and with massive muscles that drive them shut all around here. But the muscles that open the jaw are comparatively tiny, so much so that you can hold their jaws shut with just a couple of wraps of simple electrical tape. Even a massive black caiman like this, he put up quite a fight.
Yeah, man, it's a nice catch.
Whoa, he is heavy. Taping his jaw keeps him still, so we're able to handle him safely.
So we're gonna start the measurements in the head. 58.
So it's usually that measurement there, about 7 times that is the total length of the crocodile. That would mean he would be about 3.5, maybe even nearly 4 meters long.
I think it's about 12 feet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's big. He's twice as long as I am tall. It's a real privilege to be up close to this perfectly adapted predator, an animal that's hardly changed in over 200 million years and is the ultimate stealth hunter. Probably the most perfect thing about crocodiles is the fact that all of the senses are located on top of the head. So you've got the nostrils here, the eyes obviously here, and you might just see as the eye opens, the third eyelid sliding backwards. That can be used almost like a pair of goggles to protect the eye underwater. And then the last thing are the ears, which are here. So essentially, just by having that thin sliver of the head exposed above the surface of the water, all of its senses can still work, and other animals just can't see it because all of this huge bulk is submerged. Fantastic. So, ready for a release?
Yeah.
I think this is one of the most magnificent creatures you could ever see. And let's hope that he's going to head in to the water. I know, I'm watching. He's not in any rush and needs a bit of gentle coaxing. Wow, got a clout from the tail there. And in he goes. What a magnificent sight. You can see how this animal can just go from being totally still to explosive in a millisecond. That really is the secret to their success. Amazing. God dear, he nearly belted me into the water. It's day 2 of my search for the fierce animals of Guyana. And I'm setting off with 2 locals, Brian and Magnus, to a remote stretch of the rainforest in search of an aquatic assassin that is truly supercharged. Heading up a river like this into a kind of world that time forgot, it really feels like a proper expedition. It doesn't mean you can't travel in comfort. Hello. Hey, hello. Can you see anything? Yeah. What do you see? Banana catfish? Yeah. Really? Can you catch it for me? I'll be very, very impressed. That's not a banana catfish. That's tiny. We were out here last night and there was a black caiman about 4 meters long, 100 meters away from here. We've got a 9-hour journey south along the Rupununi River to the Mapari River, where we'll set up our base camp. I'm here during the dry season, and the water levels on the river are unusually low, which is a challenge in itself. We've got the telltale signs of white water and rocks ahead of us. It's a set of rapids which we're definitely not going to be able to get through with a boat like this. We're going to have to jump out of the boat, drag it through or around the rapids. Everyone ready? Yes! Good job, good job. Do you want me to get it out? Okay. 4 hours from camp, we break our journey, so Brian can take me in search of a giant-sized insect. One that I'm particularly wary of. Guys have found a tree with an innocuous-looking hole down at the bottom of it. And in there is one of the world's most fierce creatures. The way that you get them to come out is just by simply tapping on the tree. There you go, there's one, there's 2. This is the largest species of ant in the world, and I can personally testify to its fierceness. It's the bullet ant. The reason they have that common name is that one single sting from this little insect feels like being shot. It packs a hell of a punch. In the Amazon jungle in 2008, I took part in a tribal initiation ceremony, which was a trial by bullet ants. These gloves are full of them, and for 10 minutes they sting again and again. The pain is the worst of any insect sting. And even when the gloves are off, it just gets worse. For about 24 hours, there's pretty much nothing else you can think of. It just completely overrides your system. Remarkably prehistoric looking insect. But perhaps the most interesting thing about them is that sting. They don't really use it for hunting their prey. Instead, that sting is just used for defense. It's used to protect the nest. And it's evolved over tens of millions of years to become extraordinarily pure, just solely to cause pain to large mammals like me. Let's say a tapir or a bear sticks their fingers or their snouts into a bullet ant's nest and gets one single sting, and that's enough to convince them never to do it again. Oh, it's just amazing. An ant that has the power to make a grown man cry. That is very, very special. Back on the river, we continue our journey south in search of an underwater creature that stuns its prey with a bolt of lethal charge. those mountains ahead of us are where we're heading. That's where our camp's going to be. Oh, wow, wow. The water's so clear, you can see the fish flashing around below you. These fallen trees make moving here really slow and hard going, but they're incredibly important to the health of this river. As they collapse, lots of aquatic insects and invertebrates live in there and they feed the fish. The smaller fish eat the bigger fish, and that is how this river works. And now we're all gonna have to duck. Oh, here we go, hold on. Whoa! Ah! Wow. Okay, not much I could do about that. I'm not heavy enough. Just turned our boat into a seesaw. Yeah. I've lost count of how many times we've had to do this today. And it started off as being fun, but now we've nearly lost all the light out of the day. And we could well end up doing this in the dark, which is not going to be any fun. Big day. Big day. It's 9 hours since we set off. This looks like a good spot. Camp. Perfect timing. Yes! Well done, driver. Good job. Thank you. Thank you very much. And this is paradise. Love it. It gets dark quickly in the forest, and it's been a long day. I think this is probably the most beautiful piece of rainforest that I've ever spent any time in.
Yes, this is a wonderful place where wildlife concerned. And I believe you, the first person who chose the place, this rainforest here, to come and see the wildlife.
For people who come from my country, where there is nothing dangerous at all, it seems like the forest is just full of dangerous animals.
So we must take of you.
So you're taking care of me. You're looking out for me. It makes me feel good knowing that you've got my back. I'm very glad to have Brian and Magnus at my side, knowing the next animal I'm about to encounter. And I have some rare footage of it I want to show them. I've got some video here. So this is a shot of a caiman going into the water. There are a few creatures I fear more. The predatory electric eel. So what do you think is happening here, Brian?
The caiman come and attack the eel.
This caiman has chosen the wrong fish for his supper. Have you seen the caiman feeding on the eels before?
Yep, it will happen.
It will happen?
It will happen.
The electric eel is a living taser, using electricity to zap, stun, and even kill. This caiman was lucky to survive. You can see the caiman pulsing with electric charge, and that seems to be enough to drive him away, and he looks thoroughly stressed out by the whole thing. Yeah, that was pretty ferocious. Electric eels are fish that have evolved incredible powers in their struggle to survive. They're capable of delivering a 650-volt shock. That's nearly 3 times the voltage of an electric wall socket at home. Enough to stop a man's heart. Electric eels hunt at night, so instead of getting a good night's sleep, Brian and I head to the banks of the river to fish for these ferocious beasts, in the hope of seeing one hunting for ourselves. Are you not worried having your fingers in the water, Brian?
Not really.
Really? Have you never been zapped by one before?
It happened to me. I've been cleaning fish. He just come around and he didn't touch me, touch the fish.
Yeah.
Still I just shocked.
And what was it like? What was the shock like?
Shock like is ordinary electric power, current power. Yeah, and go through my body all around, all over.
Because I was doing just this in a river here in Guyana, and I was hitting the water with the fish, and I got hit once, and it blew me off my feet.
Wow.
I ended up flat on my back. we won't be able to see the electricity they produce. So I'm using a special bit of kit so we can hear it instead. It's essentially a voltmeter attached to an amplifier and a speaker. So I'm going to put this in the water, and my hope is that if an eel is nearby and it's generating voltage, the intensity of that should register in sound coming out of the speaker. After a patient wait, there you go, can you hear that? Brian's fish bait is working. That's an eel. Oh, right below me, right below me. There he is, coming up to the surface. Look at that! Amazing. That's incredible. I have to say, at night when they're hunting, I wouldn't get into this pool for all the money in the world. There it is, I can see it now below me. Whoa! It's too dark for you to see, but that's the sound of it paralysing a fish with an electric pulse. I am very glad my fingers weren't in the water at that moment. Whoa, did you hear that? He shook the fish next to him. You can see him, the whole body twists to the side as they send off their shocks. And it came straight through the speaker at the instant it was hunting. That was amazing. This is one of the most extraordinary superpowers found in nature and worthy of ultimate respect. We've just watched an electric eel hunting. How many people can say that? That's awesome. The next morning, I'm preparing for one of the most perilous wildlife encounters, swimming with electric eels. There is a real sense of trepidation dropping into a pool like this. It's so spooky and mysterious looking. And that's not all. I mean, there are venomous stingrays, possibly even caimans in here as well. They rarely hunt by day, so shouldn't be as dangerous. But if one does electrocute me whilst I'm underwater, it could be lethal. Finally, after an hour of searching, one emerges right in front of me. Oh my God! Oh my God! That was absolutely amazing! More come. Attracted by the weak electrical fields from my camera, it's unnerving knowing they have such lethal potential. This is like the greatest tropical aquarium. Only thing is, there's lots of tiny little fish that just keep coming up and taking a sneaky bite out of you. It doesn't hurt badly, but when you're always wary that you might be about to be zapped by an electric eel, it takes you by surprise. But with the mesmeric, undulating movement of their fins, they're surprisingly beautiful and utterly hypnotic. Despite their killer capacity, this has to be one of my most memorable, even enchanting encounters. I'm halfway through my adventure in Guyana's rainforest, searching out its most fierce animals. At night, the jungle absolutely comes alive, and there's an incredible orchestra of frogs and cicadas and crickets. And then, as the sun comes up, everything heads away and quiets down, and you just have this incredible peace. I spend an enormous amount of my life in jungle, in tropical rainforest, and this is pretty much as good as it gets. This is the jungle of my dreams. It's late morning, and from our camp on the Mapari River, I'm scouring the forest to seek out the largest spider on Earth. and my companions Brian and Magnus know of a real spider hotspot. Whoa, deadfall, you hear that? Spooky. That's a sound you do not want to hear in the forest. First thing you have to do when you start setting up your hammock is just look up above you and just check there's nothing big and dead, because a heavy branch like that could weigh a ton, that comes down anywhere near you and it's curtains. This way. What has he got? Magnus's sharp eyes have spotted something. Oh, typical. I haven't got my snake stick. You see it? Oh yeah, I've got it. I am being careful, I know what I'm doing. He's found one of the most venomous snakes in the world. Wow, this is so much harder without a snake hook. It's a fer-de-lance pit viper, responsible for more fatal bites in Latin America than any other snake. This is the most dangerous snake in this part of the world by far. I am someone that's been fascinated by snakes my whole life, but this is one that you have to treat with absolute respect. The coloration running down its back is extraordinary camouflage. It's almost like a phantom. But something at the back of my mind is telling me this snake is not all it seems. Incredibly, having got really good and close to the snake, the eyes are different. I think that this is a mimic. Quite often you have snakes that are very, very venomous and others that will gain benefit by pretending to be that snake. Mimicry is a cunning trick of evolution that would make any predator think twice before tackling this snake. To tell for sure, I need to get a look inside the mouth, because the highly venomous version would have hinged fangs here, and it hasn't. Instead, it has an enlarged tooth. There, I can feel that with my stick. That is one of the canniest things in nature. So, this is not one of the most venomous and dangerous snakes in the world. In fact, it's harmless, to us at least. To the frogs and lizards it feeds on, it is lethal. For hours, we continue our search deeper into the jungle, looking for an 8-legged giant that's unique to this part of South America. It's a true heavyweight champion, with huge fangs that have to be seen to be believed. Oh, I've got a spider burrow. There's one here. Okay, so if we all back off just a little bit. This tiny endoscope camera will help me see if anything's down the burrow. Okay. Oh, yep. I can already see some huge feet and legs. We have got a big spider. This is the Goliath bird-eating tarantula. Oh, wow, look at that. That is fantastic. The burrow itself is massive. It's probably that fat in diameter. And that gives you a bit of a sense of the scale of the spider itself. Ah! Oh, crumbs! That scared the living daylights out of me. The spider has just struck the endoscope in exactly the same way as it would do if it was prey. And the vibration was so strong up the lead that I honestly felt I'd been bitten myself. I don't think I've ever jumped quite so far from an animal in all the years I've been working with wildlife. She's packed up a bit now, but it's very nearly dark. I think if we came back in a couple of hours, she would be sat right at the front of this burrow, ready to hunt. While we wait for her to come out, nearby, I make a lucky find. This is really cool. This looks like a dead tarantula, but it isn't. This is a shed skin. Essentially, they have quite rigid bodies, and so to be able to grow, they crack their exoskeleton and emerge this fresh shape from inside, leaving this behind. This must have been a huge spider. Look at that. But the most impressive bit is the fangs. Wow. They are about as long as a cat's claws. You can see how big and strong they are. Imagine the amount of force, the incredible bite that a spider of this size must be able to exert with those fangs. 2 hours later... Okay, oh, that's the one. She's out. Oh, crumbs, I can feel her fangs rasping the machete. Wow. I am very, very glad that that wasn't my fingers. No, come back, come back. Okay, she won't go far away from her burrow. Come on, sweetheart. She's a colossal size, and if she feels threatened, might well strike. Okay, so the idea is to get her into a good position and just allow her to walk over my fingers. She's moving very fast, actually. Usually when these spiders are walking, they're quite slow. Oh, losing my nerve a little bit with this one. You just get a sense about their character. And sometimes they're just eager to bite. So this is the largest species of spider found in the whole world, and that's the closest I've ever been to being bitten by one. The fangs came out, they were ready to plunge in, but unbelievably, she just used them to steady herself on my finger, almost like they were an extra limb. Didn't plunge them in, and I'm very, very glad she didn't, because that would be so painful. It's said that the venom is no more intense than that of a wasp sting, but the fangs are so big that the pain you would suffer just purely from them being driven through your skin would be horrific. Wow, look at that, she is beautiful. Look at all these hairs that line the legs, incredibly fine. Those are incredibly sensitive to vibrations, so much so that she could sense the footfall of a tiny insect as it passes close by to her. And then these other hairs at the back of the abdomen, those, if you look at them under a microscope, are barbed. She'll kick them up into the air and they get into the nose, the eyes, the throat, and they're a fantastic defense. Arachnophobia is the most common human fear, and that's such a shame. We totally rely on spiders. They feed on pest insects that would otherwise make our world completely unlivable. I guess a lot of people would look at this as being a very good reason never to come to a jungle like this. Well, to me, this is the very best reason to come here. Go on then, sweetheart. Off you go. As she goes back to her lair, I'm going to try and capture something I've never filmed before. A bird-eating tarantula hunting. With my night vision camera, I can see how she's sensing the cricket just above her in pitch darkness. She waits for the perfect moment. She can eat rodents, lizards, and small snakes, so this is just a snack. Stealth and strength make her the ultimate spider of the rainforest. This is the majestic queen of the jungle. It's daybreak in my riverside camp in the Guyanan rainforest. This is a perfect spot to camp. Got the waterfall. It's lovely. I'm here searching for some of the most fearsome predators on the planet to understand the adaptations that help them survive. Everything in this forest is either highly toxic or pretending to be. This is called the harlequin toad, and it's a mimic of the most poisonous creatures on Earth. Around here you get lots of tiny little frogs. They're called poison dart frogs, and they have in their skins the most powerful natural toxins on the planet. And this little guy is nothing like as poisonous, but everything else leaves it alone, just because it looks like its lethal cousins. Beautiful. With only a few days left in the rainforest, I'm going in search of a rare but particularly ferocious pack hunter. I'm leaving my camp and heading 30 miles north back up the Rupununi. And alongside the river is a very, very special place, Dare Pond. The lake is carpeted with giant Amazon water lilies, each one said to be strong enough to support the weight of a child. So much life here, you can see it. I mean, there's so much going on. These lilies offer loads of places for animals to hide. It's a great nursery for small fish. And utterly stunning. Back on the river, I begin my search for the river wolves. So named because when they gang together, they're voracious pack predators and can even take on a caiman. They are the giant river otters. They grow up to 6 feet long and eat piranha for breakfast, but they were hunted so severely for their skins that now there are fewer than 5,000 left. They're evasive, elusive, and extremely hard to find. But I'm in luck. My guides, Brian and Magnus, say they've been spotted on this stretch of river in the last week. What's this? Wow, yes. This is almost like a sandy slide coming down from a massive hole underneath these tree roots. And this is one of the entrances to a giant river otter holt. That is essentially their home, where they live together as a large extended family. Wow, that's a proper cave under there. It's hard to believe that something so big could be dug by otters, but then these aren't your average, ordinary otters. They are supersized. But these animals are so difficult to see. I think our best chance is to put up some camera traps here that can do the work for us and be watching day and night to see if anything comes in or out. Wow. There's a distinctive fishy stink in the air. Otter poo. That smells. These cameras will be triggered by movement. They have very webbed feet, but there are still claws at the end of each toe. And each one of these lines is incredibly crisp. It hasn't yet started to break down, which means that it's really fresh. I would guess that these here are from this morning. The camera traps are set, and I just have to wait patiently. It's my final day in the rainforest, and my last chance to spot the elusive giant river otter. I head straight to the holt to see if there's anything on my cameras. It's recorded 147 videos, which means it's been triggered by grass. Damn it. That's not good. Yes. Okay. 316? Oh dear. That's too many. There's nothing else for it. We're just gonna have to go back to old-fashioned searching. Do you ever see them up on the banks like here?
Oh, up the lazy river where the old mill run. Up the lazy river, the noonday sun.
After 6 hours on the river under baking sun, we get a break.
Crossing the river onto our side. Quite interested in us. Oh yeah, I can see them. They're looking at us. You just come hammering around a corner to see and hear at least 2 giant river otters in this big patch of fallen debris to the side of the river. Oh, there you go, out in the open. Can you see that there? Just there. Wow. Coming back out into the open again. This is one of the trickiest animals to film you'll ever find. You very, very rarely see them as much in the open as this. Usually they will just disappear underwater, and bearing in mind this animal can stay underwater for 5, maybe even 8 minutes, they could crop up a mile downriver and be under a bush. So you really have very little chance of predicting where they're going to come up. They're very, very vocal animals, and they make a wide range of squeaks, whistles, barks, trumpets. Sounds like Chewbacca. Amazing.
These otters might look cute, but their looks are deceptive. An adult male can weigh up to 35 kilos, and they have no natural predators other than humans. They have huge appetites, eating 4 kilos of fish a day. That's like you or me eating 22 pizzas every day. They are fiercely defensive of their families, and when working as a pack will target and kill large caimans.
Giant river otters are a true marvel for hunting in these waters. Just about everything else is fair game. They're so strong, so powerful, and they certainly punch beyond their size. I can remember as a kid, otters being my favourite animal in the whole world. If I'd known that I was going to be out here filming giant river otters in Guyana as an adult, I think my mind would have been totally blown.
I'm respectfully keeping my distance, but they are a delight to watch. My time in the Guyana rainforest is at an end. And more than the powerful caiman, the Goliath tarantula, the pain-giving bullet ant, or the shocking electric eel, for me, these surprisingly ferocious giant river otters are its ultimate fierce animals. Fearless, clever, and beautifully adapted to the rainforest. To watch them at work is a genuine privilege.